favorite strikers, they'll deliver. Crowd roars erupted, you can feel the quake. 80.
Hello everyone, you're welcome to the channel. So today we'll be talking about, in this video, we'll be talking about Chelsea's, opponents in the Club World Cup, in FIFA Club World Cup. We're breaking that down and also talking about Nigerian Wonderkid that could be coming up against Chelsea in that competition. He won the MVP for the under-20 on the one side, of Flamingo, and he could possibly play against Chelsea. And even to make things more interesting, he is Nigerian. I've mentioned him a lot on this channel, and I would like to know what you think about the possibility of him playing against Chelsea and how you think Chelsea may look going into the tournament. Also, I'll be highlighting the top players or some key players to watch out for in the various teams that Chelsea will be going up against. And I will be talking about someone that's coming and has been phenomenal, absolutely, phenomenal for, absolutely been phenomenal for Nigeria. He's made his debut for Nigeria, so for the Nigerian Super Eagles in that Unity Cup game. So I'll be talking about him as well. So let's see how that goes. So let's go straight into it. So the draws are out. We now know the opponent that Chelsea will be coming up against in the Club World Cup. So we have, of course, Flamingo, and Flamingo, is coached by Felipe Luis, that used to be a Chelsea left back. Now he's a head coach. When he joined them, he first joined their youth team. He was coach of the youth sides in Flamingo, and now he's turned out to be a very, very decent coach for them. And let's see what he's able to do now. Flamingo, their Brazilian side, will always be a threat, even if obviously you expect that Chelsea should be able to come up tops in this group. But you can't take anything for granted. And before I move on to talk about these teams, I'll talk about one piece of news, and probably you must have heard about it as well. So Chelsea are looking to get Liam Delap to sort of, for lack of a better word, dump the England under-21 side and represent Chelsea in the Club World Cup. And I think possibly he would do that because I think this Club World Cup, no matter what you think about the signing of Liam Delap, whether you think it's good enough, whether you think it's one for the future, or whether you think a more experienced striker should have been signed, one thing is certain: he needs to take any opportunity he gets to not prove me or anyone else wrong, but to prove himself right, that he is that guy. And taking, playing in the Club World Cup whilst you haven't signed the light of a Victor Osimhen or your correct, it's an opportunity for you to show, the ownership that, yeah, they made the right decision in signing you as Liam Delap. So, because if he racks up a very good performance in that Club World Cup, whether or not Chelsea wins it or not, then he would have, pinned his flag at Stamford, or he would have sort of shown to Enzo Maresca, shown to Blue and clearly Capital that, yes, I'm the man who would have stake the claim, for that starting position as the alternate number one striker for Chelsea. So let's see how that goes. So you think it's good? You think probably should have been allowed to play for the under-21s? For me, it's like I feel like under-21s, you've been with them, why not be with them all through the end? But on the other hand as well, from a Chelsea fans' perspective, you look at it and say, Chelsea needs a striker. And he's a striker, profile-wise, it suits what Chelsea's trying to do. But I may have my own sort of opinions about it, but he's in the building. He is a striker that's just been signed to the club, so he should take advantage of this Club World Cup whilst no one else has been signed, and take advantage of it and play. So moving on to the team. So Flamingo, we're playing against Flamingo. So Flamingo, yeah. Bottom player there, we have Gabriel Barbosa, Gabigol. I don't know if you remember him. He used to be very, very highly rated. Very highly rated by in Europe. I think he was signed by a club. I can't quite remember the club that signed him, but he used to be very highly rated. But sometimes Brazilians, when they come to Europe, it doesn't work. They go back to Brazil and they play and they make a career for themselves there. And that's one thing I wish that Nigerian players could do. If you come to Europe, you wish it works out, but if it doesn't work out, you're still able to, go back to your domestic league and still have a decent career there. So he is a prolific goal scorer and one Chelsea should watch out for. Like of Colwill, like of Tosin, like of Chaloba, Reece James, Cucurella should be on the lookout for this player because he's a very tricky customer and he's very prolific. He knows where the back of the net is, which is the most important thing or most important trait for a striker. So he's one that should be looked out for. And then they've got another dangerous striker. I think he is younger than Gabigol. He's Pedro. He's a dangerous striker that has different attacking attributes. So he's another player that Chelsea should watch out for as well. And then you've got Everton, who's a highly skilled, he's a very skilled winger, pacey, got skill, got obviously the Brazilian flair, of course. So he's one the likes of Cucurella or Reece James should be on the lookout for. And for Chelsea fans, probably that's one player that you want to look out for as well. And then another old face would be possibly playing against Chelsea for Flamingo, and that is David Luiz. Remember David Luiz, what a wonderful 7 for the club. So let's see what he's able to do. We all know what it's all about, but obviously he's now older, maybe a bit slower, but I think not with age, even if you slow down with age, you get more experience with age, you get more wise. I think you get more wisdom with age. So he should be looked out for as well. And then you've got Esperance Sportive de Tunis, aka for short Esperance. That's a Tunisian team, one of the teams representing the African continent, and they will be in the group to face, Chelsea. So players to look out for: Yan Sase, player. He's a midfielder, so he controls the pace of the game. He controls the midfield for the Tunisian side. So it's one player that Chelsea should be on the lookout for. And then you've got Mohamed Ali Ben Ramadan. He's a midfielder as well, contributes offensively and defensively. So he's a nice two-way player. And those sort of players are very, very important to how teams play. So it's another one that Chelsea fans be on the lookout for. And I'm sure the likes of Enzo Maresca and Caballero and the rest of his coaching crew probably have already started doing their, tactical scouting, of these teams and are already well aware of these players. Then you got Rahid, a dynamic attacker. So dynamic, skillful, pacey, be on the lookout for that one as well. And then you got Memich. He's a defensive player, probably leads the team from the defense, commands that defense very well. Another one to be on the lookout for the likes of Nicholas Jackson, the likes of Cole Palmer, Pedro Neto, Nordi Madweke, and Liam Delap. If everything clears up before that day, he is another one that Chelsea needs to be on the lookout for. That's for Esperance Tunis. And then of course there's LAFC. LAFC, not to be mistaken with city rivals LA Galaxy. LAFC are LAFC are one of the MLS representatives in the Club World Cup, and probably they'll be on home turf as well because the World Cup will be played in the US. So, of course, old friends will be joining. We're inviting old friends. Olivier Giroud, will be facing up against Chelsea, and that's where you need the likes of Colwill, to really have their heads on straight, and that's why an experienced defender is really crucial. Because while obviously Olivier Giroud has never really been a player with immense pace, but he's always been a player that has known his way around the box, known how to attack that near post, and he did it, to immense pleasure of Chelsea fans whilst he was at Chelsea, and I'm sure Arsenal fans would have enjoyed his play as well. And it's also brilliant in the air, and he can also score some delightful goals. Like remember the scorpion kick he did whilst he was at Chelsea. So he is a player that Chelsea should obviously be on the lookout for. Therefore, the defense, you have to be on your game. Now, sometimes people think players who are dangerous are only pacey players, the pacey, bulky or super athletic players. Those are the ones you should be mindful of. But you see all these very nifty, crafty, you know, little strikers who are clinical in the box, may not have pace. Like Olivier Giroud has never been a pacey striker, but he always knows how to score in that box. So he knows how to manipulate his way in that 18-yard box, and very little from 12 yards, very little from 12 yards, very little in front of goal. So that's someone that Chelsea needs to, look at. And I'm sure Enzo Maresca and his team probably have done their opponent scouting, tactical scouting, and well aware of all these players. And then of course Hugo Lloris, former Spurs goalkeeper, he's at LAFC. Nothing to say much about him, but Nicholas Jackson, you have to finish. Go 1v1, you have to finish your dinner. He was very decent at Spurs, but what can you do with Spurs when you're at Spurs? Can you really win anything? Although this year they won the Europa League, so good on them. But he's one to be on the lookout for. But for me, goalkeepers, I don't really see them as a threat, really. If your striker does his job, he will score goals. So Hugo Lloris has experience, maybe would lead that defense with his Premier League experience against Chelsea. But one thing is certain, if you have a striker that knows his business, definitely Hugo Lloris can be hot. So Nicholas Jackson have to be on your game, or Liam Delap, possibly maybe the striker that would start if his medical and everything clears out before the tournament starts. I think it's June 16th that the tournament would start. So Liam Delap, Cole Palmer, Madueke, Pedro Neto, Jadon Sancho, you know what to do coming up against Hugo Lloris. And then you've got, of course, Carlos Vela, former Mexican international. Went to, since he joined LAFC, he's almost like a legend there, scoring so many goals, and he's deadly in front of goal. So the defenders again have to be on the lookout for this guy. So the likes of your Tosin, your Cole, your Chalobah, all should be on the lookout for this guy. Now, I've said all this. I need to talk about one Nigerian wonderkid that could possibly, be coming up. See in the chat what we have here. Any transfer update on the LAFC medical? No transfer update on the LAFC medical. Yet I think there was reports that it would be this year. So that's not this year. That will be happening today, but I don't think possibly would it happen today being Sunday. But let's see what happens. But it's close. That's the report that the LAFC medical. I'll just do a quick search right now and just do this now. Just hold on a second. Yeah, so I was right. His medical is scheduled for today, 1st of June. So the last medical scheduled for today, 1st of June. So probably and possibly could get an announcement, an official announcement as soon as Monday. So be on the lookout for that. And once that's done, possibly he would get to play in the Club World Cup, because I think he would take that offer. He would take that offer to play for Chelsea as opposed to playing for the England under-21 side. Now, there's one player I want to highlight. He's a player that I've been excited about. I wanted him to play in the Unity Cup, for Nigeria, but he didn't get to play. He didn't get the invite. He's a youngster, 20-year-old, and he's won the best player for Flamingo for the under 21s, and he has bags of pace. He has electrifying pace. So for me, he is one player that Chelsea should be on the lookout for. Should absolutely be on the lookout for. And Nigerians as well. I think this is some player you need to watch, because I think we were robbed of the opportunity of seeing him play in this Unity Cup. Because for me, I know the likes of Victor Osimhen wouldn't get to play in that game. Ademola Lookman wouldn't get to play in that game. I was quite sure, that the likes of the main players wouldn't get to feature in that match. But for me, I felt like this should have been an opportunity for certain young players with high potential, high upside to get game time. You are very Porabos, your Shola Ogundana, who I'm talking about right now, should have got the opportunity to play in that tournament. But we saw some players that shouldn't have been there. Yes, I'll say it. Ahmed Musa wasn't meant to be there. And he's proven that he pulled out after half a game. So Shola Ogundana should have been given the opportunity. But speaking about the Club World Cup, he could feature against Chelsea. And if he does feature against Chelsea, and if he plays on the right, he would give the likes of Reece James, the likes of Malo Gusto a run for their money, especially if Enzo Maresca continues with his style of play where he has his fullbacks tucked into midfield and having to rush back to fullback position, because Shola Ogundana is pure pace. He is pure pace, frightening pace. So if you give him that room, that space, you have your fullback stuck into the midfield, he's going to skin anyone there. He's faster than Reece James. I think he should be also faster than Malo Gusto, to tell you how frightening his pace is. So he's someone that I think Enzo Maresca and his technical crew should be doing their homework on, should be doing their assignments on. But from a Nigerian perspective, we were robbed. We should have seen this player play. But now we've missed the opportunity because obviously he's not in the friendly match team against Russia, and then he definitely will not be in the World Cup qualifying game fixture, and even more likely not be in the AFCON games that we played, in December later on this year. So that chance has been missed out. So that's why for me, I said it, that this Unity Cup should have been an opportunity. It's an opportunity missed, in my opinion. This should have been an opportunity where, that young kid that you don't think you need to rush to play for the senior team immediately, to play for the Super Eagles immediately. But with this sort of tournament that is sort of important, slightly important, but not the main tournament you're talking about, you should have played in this tournament. You are very Porabos. Sholas, your Onyubuchi Obasi should have played in this game, and I think one or two top players would have been spotted in this game. So for me, Shola Ogundana coming up against Chelsea is a bit of mixed feelings, because I really, really like the player. I rate him as a wonder kid, but obviously I will be supporting Chelsea, come the 16th of June. But he is one dangerous player that Chelsea should be on the lookout for, and he is one player that the Nigerian Super Eagles should be looking to integrate into the team. Should be looking to integrate him into the team. That's my opinion on it. And then beyond the lap, for me, I think let's see what he does in this World Club Cup. It is his opportunity. I think he should take it. This is his chance to show everyone what he's all about. So let's see what happens after the medical today. Perhaps to be an announcement on Monday. Then I think he'll be a shoe with a lock-in for that Club World Cup. Then now let's also move on to talk about Felix Agu. Felix Agu, another youngster, and I'm thankful, wanting for the Unity Cup, not because Nigeria won the Unity Cup, won the Unity Cup on penalties 5-4. Not just that, that's good. I like that. But I was even more happy. What gave me satisfaction was that, one, he was called up. Two, he received that clearance from FIFA and from the German FA to switch allegiance to Nigeria and to play in those games. And fourthly, that he actually showed what it was all about. He actually showed his ability. And some people say he's defending, he didn't quite show much in the attacking sense. I disagree. I don't know what you were watching. I can't really tell what you were watching, but if you're watching that game, you would have seen how he really wanted to play those combination passes with, Simon Moses, and he did make the runs. It's not like he laid the pass off and didn't make those runs. He did make the runs. He laid the pass off to Simon Moses, made the runs in behind, but never got the pass to him. He never got the pass laid onto him. He did it time and time again. But one thing I'm sure of, I'm happy that he played and he showed what he is all about. He showed what it's all about. Now, I know this is a mixed crowd because you should have some Nigerian fans on here, you should have some Chelsea fans on here. I want to ask a question to Chelsea fans if you're here. What do you think about this Club World Cup? Is this something you're even interested in for one? And secondly, what do you think about the grouping? Do you think any team in that group could possibly be a threat to Chelsea? For me, if Chelsea step up and play their game, I don't think any team there can really stand Chelsea. Not LAFC, not Esperance, and not Flamingo. But if Chelsea still remains fragile at the back and plays this and overplays at the back, Chelsea could get hot because Gabigol, he is very little in front of goal. You've got pacey wingers in Shola Ogundana I've mentioned, and then you talk of LAFC. Carlos Vela is a dangerous customer, though he didn't hit the heights, in European football, but he still has the ability, he still has the technique, he still knows how to score goals. So he's someone that you need to be, on the lookout for. And Olivier Giroud, we know what it's all about. He scored goals in that Europa League final against Arsenal. You've seen the goals he scored, like that goal he scored against Southampton, just gliding past 2, 3 Southampton defenders to score. So we know what he's all about. We know what Olivier Giroud is all about. So want to be mindful of. So Chelsea needs to take it seriously. While Chelsea obviously is the better team, is the better team or the best team in that group, far and away better than every other team in the group, still need to take those games seriously. Because Brazilian sides will always worry you. LAFC with the players that they have, with the experience, would worry you as well. So Chelsea really needs to be serious with this one. So let me know your thoughts and opinions. One on Chelsea's draw. Yeah, says Stephen Okoro says we now have a world-class left back. I agree with you. I agree with you. I agree with you. Like for me, one of the fears I had going into that game, versus in the Unity Cup game, first I was like, will he be up for the fight? I knew he was an aggressive player. I knew he knew how to press the ball. I knew he could work both ways, both defensively and offensively. But the question is, he's wanting to be all that in Europe, but when you step on to play for Nigeria, can you bring, that intensity into the team? And he did it, and he showed that he is able to do that at an international stage. And for me, I'm saying there's no excuse now. There is no excuse going into the World Cup qualifiers. There is no excuse to say, oh, we're not keeping him in the team. Oh, we want to drop him. No excuse about that. He should be in the team as a matter of course. He should be in the team. And now, for me, that left side is locked up. We've got that left side sewn up because we've got Bruno Yemachi and we've got Felix Agu. So we've got the number 1A and the number 1B. I think that he's very, very good. The difference between them is not that far. So Bruno Yemachi is 1A, he's 1B. And then for the right back, that is where the issues are. That's where we have the issues, the main issue in that defense. Olaina, top player. You've seen how he plays for Nottingham Forest. I mean, if I could get him back to Chelsea, I would. But the thing there is with James is there, Malagusto is there, so maybe just cover there. So for that right back spot, Olaina is the number 1 person. But looking at who else, has impressed enough to be in that position, no one. Bright Samuel has tried, still not impressed. Ismail Sadiq had the opportunity this Unity Cup, still didn't impress. So for me, you need to get another right back. Now, someone in the comments said I criticize players too much. I said, how do you mean? I criticize players too much. And then people ask me, do you know how to play football? You criticize players? I'm like, come off it. When I praise Victor Osimhen, where are you? When I just praise Felix Agu or Lionel, where are you? If you like the player personally, maybe you like the player's personality, and someone is criticizing the player's ability on the pitch, then why are you? Why should that be a problem? If you like a player personally, that's for you. For me, I look at what you do on the pitch. If you're not good enough, I'm going to say you're not good enough. If you're not good enough, you're not good enough. If I see another Nigerian player who's good enough, who's performing at a level, whether it's a dual national or a mono-national, I'm going to say it. So for me, I don't look at players based. I don't have any player I like or I hate. For me, if you're good enough, if you're doing the job on the pitch, for real, that's good to see. That's all I want to see. That's all I want to see. I don't have any issues with any player. If you're good, you're performing at the level, for sure. Ishmael, you were not happy for him yesterday, but why why are you saying to be in work qualifier? What are you talking about? Sadiq? No. Get me, Idris. I did not say Sadiq. Sadiq should be in work qualifier. No. I don't know who. No, I didn't say that. Hear me what I said. I was talking about Felix Agu. I said Felix Agu, there should not be any argument. There should not be any excuse. Felix Agu should be in the World Cup qualifiers alongside Bruno Yemachi, as both of them now have that, as both of them now, have that left back role locked up. That's what I said. For me, Ismail Sadiq, I'm saying he shouldn't be anywhere near the team. No. I can never go back on that. I've seen enough of him. I like my blood pressure to be calm and not spiking through the roof because I'm watching a player play. So Ismail Sadiq, I don't know if he has friends in the NFF or wherever, but he shouldn't be in this team. And people say, oh, you don't like home-based players, da, da, da. No. If you want home-based players, get the best of the best of the best. That's how you grow. That's how you promote your league when you have the best players. And today I'm also talking about Shola Ogundana, a player that we are robbed of. We are robbed of Shola. Shola should have been in this tournament. This tournament, when we have some top players missing, like your Lookman, like your Seaman, all missing for good reason, then this should have been an opportunity for someone like, a Shola Ogundana, a very pacey winger, a youngster, to be in the team instead of having Ahmed Musa to be in the team. That would have profited us more. Because, for instance, look at Benjamin Frederick. He came on impressed. And now we've discovered one good player. Felix Agu came on impressed over the 2 games. Now we've discovered another good player that can contribute to the team. But when you now go on to say what you want to do is you want to invite an ancient player because you want to allow him get a number of caps, what does it benefit you? End of the day, what happens? Ian Achok came in, what is it going to benefit the team? Because we know after this game, probably he doesn't play the next game. Or even if he plays the World Cup qualifier, the friendly match versus Russia, what does he do for us? Nothing. So we missed an opportunity to get certain players to show what they can do. But for me, Shola Ogundana, I think he may feature against Chelsea in the Club World Cup, and if he does, for me, I want Chelsea to win, but I would like to see him take on Rhys James. I would like to see him challenge Gusto for pace and to be exciting to watch. So Idris says, I think Musa, it's the last call for him. I hope so. We said that the last time, and we saw him in this tournament. For me, if you want to have, if you want to honor a player that has no doubt contributed a lot to Nigerian Super Eagles, to Nigerian football, there are many ways to do it. One, you could have, all these novelty-friendly matches in his honor, retirement fixture match in his honor, where you have Bikanu, Mikel, Celestin Babayaro, maybe, all these players come in and play, and play in that tournament, raise funds maybe for Ahmed Musa's charity or academy or something. NFF backs that tournament. Yeah, you're showing respect. Or you say we have this new role where former players, should help bridge the gap between a coach and the team, maybe player liaison officer, something like that. Then you give him that role. No problem, no worries, no issues with that. But when you come in to say, you know what, I'm going to invite you and give you the spot of someone who's already in the team, for me, that doesn't work well for me. It doesn't sit right with me, especially when it means certain players that could have had an opportunity to play miss out on that opportunity. Now, the under 20 side, everyone knows how to criticize the team and all that. But for me, I feel it would have been more valuable if, for instance, Bamiyi was in this team. It would have been more valuable for us. Would have been more valuable to see Chuku in this team. Would have been more valuable to see Areri Parabo in this team and let them have a chance to prove themselves. For me, that would have been of more value than to have Inacho Musa in the team. People say I criticize players. Which player have I criticized unfairly? Now, which player has played very well and I come on here to criticize the player? I don't think there's anyone. When I praise, what of Victor Osimhen, I praise every day, I talk about him. Does anyone, what about that? And why I think we missed a trick in that Unity Cup game, when you have top players missing, for whatever reason, whether they are injured, suspended, family reasons, still have to play with their club, whatever the reason, that presents an opportunity for the next guy, for the next person, for the next rated player to show what they can do. Because I feel like just as we discovered, not like we discovered, just as Benjamin Frederick impressed, I think if Shola was given an opportunity, he would have impressed as well. If Areri Parabo was given an opportunity, he would have impressed as well. And there and then, we would have discovered, some top talents as well. So for those who are just coming, if you're just joining the stream on, we're talking about Chelsea's fixtures in the Club World Cup. We're talking about Shola Ogundana, the Nigerian Wonderkid electrifying winger that could be coming up against Chelsea because Flamingo, the Brazilian side, are in the same group with Chelsea. So he possibly could be playing because he was the best player for Flamingos on that 21 side. He won the Hero of the Championship, so he possibly would be in that World Club World Cup. So that's a player I hope everyone's on the lookout for, even if you don't want to watch the Club World Cup. But because of this guy, I think you need to watch it. You need to watch it as well. Talking about Felix Agu. Yes. Felix Agu. Oh yeah. You're it. You're him. My boy, you're him. You've come in and you really impressed. He's coming and he's impressed and he's shown what he can do. Instantly you can see it. And I say someone in the comments said something that was a bit strange to me. Someone in the comments said, Felix Agu didn't quite help in the attack. No. If you watch him, you would have seen what he was doing. He was always making the runs. He was always pressing. He was always looking to combine with Simon Moses, but Simon Moses was not returning the pass. So for me, I think what the issue is, that chemistry needs to be developed between, if Simon Moses is going to play on that left, that chemistry needs to be developed. If Ademola Lookman is the one that's going to play on that left, that chemistry needs to be developed with that Felix Agu, because you could see the combination play he wanted to start building up. Drop the pass to the winger, make the secondary runs, get the ball back, and drop the ball in the box. And he's how to put it now? He's ambipedal. He can use both feet rather. Cross with right, cross with left. Brilliant. That's something rare. How many fullbacks in the world? Look, mention your best fullback, the fullback you see as the best in the world, right? The one you see as the best, your own choice, not anyone I'm mentioning. The one you see as the best in the world. Now, can that fullback cross the ball with both feet, and they cross with their left and their right? No. So that tells you that, not that he's the best in the world, but it shows you that that ability is rare. It's very rare for players to have it. And when you have Victor Osimhen, because some crosses he put in the box yesterday, I just said, Osimhen go chop. That's what I said. I said in pidgin English. Watching the game, I said Osimhen go chop. That means Osimhen is going to score a lot of goals. Osimhen is going to really benefit from Felix Agu being in the team. And I think he would really give Bruno Yemachi a run for his money, for sure. For sure. Benjamin Frederick in the team will give a lot of defenders a run for their money. And he should be in that World Cup qualifying squad. He should be in the AFCON squad for sure. Ismail Sadiq, goodbye. And another right back should be looked for. Now, there's something I said yesterday, maybe the coach never heard about him. Okay, it's possible. It's possible that he hasn't heard about him as well. That's quite true. But one question I always ask is this: if me, just me, lone me, I don't have definitely don't have any resources close to what the NFF have. I don't have anything close to what they do, what they possess. If I can know about certain players, why can't they? Why can't they? And even if they don't know about him particularly, how about other players? How about other, talented young players as well? That they could have given an opportunity. Onyebuchi Obasi, how about him? How about giving you an opportunity? I'm telling you this, that boy, Onyebuchi Obasi, is Nigeria's Vini Jr. in terms of his skill set. I'm not saying he's at his level yet. I'm saying in terms of his skill set, in terms of the skill he has, he is a Vini Jr. type of player. A Vini Jr. type of player. But the problem is Nigerian football doesn't have the PR power of Brazilian football. You can be a skillful, super talented player in Nigerian grassroots, even for maybe Remo Stars. Nobody really hear about you. For Beyond Limits, nobody really hear about you. That's part of the reason I'm doing this channel. I'll talk about Chelsea, I'll talk about Premier League, I'll talk about World Cup qualifiers, AFCON, but to talk about these players that no one will really talk about. Estavayo Willian. How many of us watch Brazilian League? I wouldn't say that much, but a lot of us know who Estavayo Willian is. We know who Estavayo Willian is. So I'm not saying Obasi Estavayo Willian. I'm just saying there's no promotion about the player. You don't have anything. No one knows what he's doing. But in England, Spain, an 8-year-old who score goals playing for, under 9, and people will know. People will know. An 8-year-old or a 10-year-old who score goals playing for under 14, and people will know, oh, this Wonderkid has scored 40 goals. 40 goals for what? Under 14 tournament. The whole world will know. But in Nigeria, you can do all you want to do, skill. Nobody will know what you're doing. Nobody will know about these players. It's because the NFF are not doing their job. Sports Commission, they're not doing their job. They're not doing their job. So we have exciting talents. And this Unity Cup for me, once again, I'll say it, is an opportunity missed. Was an opportunity with key players missing to give, certain players the chance to play. To show what they're about. And given the fact that Nigeria doesn't even organize friendly matches regularly anymore. So that's the thing. We missed out on certain players, that would have shown their ability here. Areli Parabo, it should have shown what it's all about here. But good enough, the under 20 World Cup is coming up. So hopefully we get to see Areli Parabo, and Umar Abubakar is another good striker. He scored 27 goals in 21 games. No, 21 goals in 27 games. So he's another one that, fans of youth football, not just Nigerian football, you're a fan of youth football, you should be looking at him. And like I've told people, Sky Sports will not talk about these players. If you're waiting for Sky Sports, Talk Sports, to talk about a Nigerian Wonderkid, you're joking. You wait till you have gray beard. You wait till you have gray beard. And for me, I'm saying you should stop expecting all this mainstream media to talk about these players. If they talk about them, good, fair and good, but you should not be waiting for them to do that. So you have top players. So Felix Agu, for sure, is a player that should be going on with this team to the AFCON for sure. World Cup qualifiers for sure. He should be with this team, you know. And then in the under 20s as well, there's a player plays for Manchester United. I don't know if they'll even look at him, but he's been scoring lots of goals as well. Victor Musa, I think his heritage should be Benin or Delta. You know, sorry, either Edo or Delta. So I think when you look at his name, you know what I mean. His full name. So these are things that we should be, talking about, promoting this talent. And so back to the point of talking about grassroots football, yeah. These players, nobody promotes them. That is why you don't hear them. That's why you don't think that they are superstars. They have to graft. From Nigerian football grassroots, you never see a player that goes straight to Real Madrid, that goes straight to Chelsea, that goes straight to Liverpool. No, they come from the grassroots. Maybe they go to a second division team in Norway, or the 8th or 9th place team in Norway and grow that way, or they go to Denmark and grow that way. So that's it. That's why it feels like they're not good enough. So when I say this guy is Nigeria's Vinny Junior, people say, how can you say that? How can you say that? No, I've seen his skill. I've seen his ability. There's a video I've done on him where I reacted to, his skill on the ball, his ability on the ball. You can check it out after this stream is over. Because he was about. So it says there's Idris as well. So the problem with Nigeria is that there are too much players and the coach doesn't much time to give chances to all of them. So there is one person you mentioned was that he's the best than Sadiq. For me, I know that we have lots of talent, and for me, and I'm not saying every player I mentioned should be in the team. It's not possible, right? It's not possible. But if I mention like 40 players, and the NFF include 20 players, or even 10, or even 5 that come in, perform well, shine well, progress in the team, then you can say, yeah, progress. Or even if they say, okay, all the players you're mentioning, we don't care about them. Okay, fine. And then they bring players that are young, exciting, that perform, that do the business on the day. They're fine. We're all happy. All we want is Super Eagles win, Flying Eagles win, and Dream Team win Olympic gold medal. Simple. Simple. The players I mentioned, I don't know any of them personally. Hello, my biggest Manchester United supporter. Well, Manchester United. Well, what are we going to do, Manchester United? Manchester United, I think they want to sell, what's his name now, to the Al Hilal, looking to sign Bruno Fernandes. I'm not sure that is going to happen, but they have a lot of money and they can really tempt any player. They have a lot of money and possibly they can be signed. But let's see if that happens. And if they sign that player, that means they'll have a lot of money to spend in transfer window. So for me, I don't want them to sell Bruno Fernandes. He's a very good player. He's been a very good servant of the club. So he should still be at Manchester United. Now I'll go through what we're talking about. So to start with, I talked about the Club World Cup, the teams Chelsea will be facing in the Club World Cup, like your LAFC, your Flamingo, and your Esperance Tunis, the Tunisian side will be representing Africa in the Club World Cup, in the FIFA Club World Cup. So Chelsea fans, Chelsea players should be on the lookout for these teams. And one thing you have to know, for people who don't follow African football, don't ever take North African club sides for granted. Don't ever think that North African clubs, we look down on them. You're going to be shocked. 100%, you will be shocked to your bone marrow if you take those teams for granted. Technically, they're gifted. They're good. And their league is good up to the point where their players don't really need to move. Obviously, European leagues still pay more and all that, have slightly better facilities and stuff. But Their league is at a level where their players don't really need to move. Unlike Nigeria, where an Armenian third division club can sign the Nigerian top scorer, you know. But North African clubs, the way their system is set up, so you may see a player, oh, his home base, he's good. So Chelsea should be on the lookout. LAFC, Carlos Vela, who will be there as well. Olivier Giroud will be there. We know what a consummate goal scorer he is. So they should be on the lookout. Put like Colwill and Tosin Adebayo should have their eyes open. And speaking about Tosin Adebayo, from a Nigerian perspective, he said in an interview that one, he never rejected Nigeria for one. Secondly, that he hasn't made a decision and that he feels that now is the time to make that decision. And I feel if he does make a decision, it will be as easy as Felix Agu in terms of when he will have to switch to play, in terms of switching to play for Nigeria, because I don't think he's played any serious games for even the England under 21. I'm not sure on the England age grade size. I don't think he's really played any serious games for them. So I think switching will be relatively easy if he does. And if he does, that means you have Tosin, you have Benjamin Frederick, you have Igogu, and then possibly you have Tus Ekong on his last dance. I think this AFCON is Tus Ekong's last dance. So he comes in, hopefully win the AFCON, and hopefully Nigeria qualifies for the World Cup, and that's it. So, and there's Odogu as well. There's Odogu. There was Patrick Dogu. He's gone to Denmark. Was a very good left back, but he was born in Denmark, so he had Danish heritage, and he chose to play for Denmark. So that's fine. He's gone. But we got David Odogu. David Odogu is a centre back for Wolfsburg. He's 6'3", I think, 6'3", 6'4", 6'3" tall in height rather. And then you have another player that is eligible to play for Nigeria by virtue of his mom, Alessandro Makandeli. He is 6'5". So why I look at this kind of players, I think Nigerian defense can be very good if we add Benjamin Frederick, if we add Igor Bu. But can you imagine adding the height of Tosin Adebayo, who is 6'5", added to a David Odogu, who is 6'3", and added to Alessandro Makandeli, who is 6'5". So you have absolute giants in that defense. So I think these are players. Now I've mentioned all these players. I'm not saying all of them now should be, but at least one or two of them can come into the team. For me, NFF, you cannot put the cart before the horse. If you want to bring home-based players, make the league good. Two things I would say about that: make the league good, make the league competitive, make the league have commercial value, make the league so attractive that the player doesn't have to leave and go and play somewhere else for $1,000 a month. Because if a player in the MPFL is earning like $40,000, $50,000 a month, even, an offer to take him out of his club in Nigeria would have to be super enticing. And it would have to be to a top league. That's the truth, because before you leave Nigeria and say, oh, I want to leave this warm weather, almost 52 weeks, let's say 50 weeks in a year, you have absolute beautiful weather, So before you choose to live there, that means something is not quite right, So, but if you're earning well, you're making good money in the league, you see the league is growing commercially. Before you leave, you must have a super attractive offer for you to leave. And that will give you the opportunity to have a look at the club that wants to sign you. What are they like? What league are they playing? What's the quality of the club? And then you can then go. But when you look at the league you're in, maybe your club is owing you your salary for 3 or 4 months, and the NFF is not doing anything about it. And what you're earning maybe is like 500,000 naira or 600,000 naira, and you compare it to what people earn in maybe Moldova, then what would be the need for you to stay? That's one aspect of it. And then the second aspect is the people who play well in the league should be, should be rewarded. The highest goal scorer, if you want to invite home-based players, the highest goal scorer should be in that team. The defender with the best record should be in that team. It's not the one that scored 3 goals in 30 games you invite. No, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. So people want home-based players, want to say, oh, it's our own home-based. For me, I believe if you have Nigerian blood anywhere you are in the world, whether you're in Antarctica or you're in Yanopaja, you are a Nigerian. So it doesn't matter. But if you want someone who grassroots, played home base, let the NFF do what they need to do. Let them do the needful. Let them do the needful. So once again, I'll take us through what we've been talking about on this stream so far. We're talking about Chelsea's group in the Club World Cup. Expect Chelsea to come out from that group. We have teams there like Esperance Tunis, the Tunisian representative. You've got LAFC, and then of course you've got Flamingo. And for Flamingo, I've talked about it, a Nigerian Wonderkid on that team is Shola Ogundana. Hopefully he gets to play so we can see his electrifying pace, on the world stage. It's a World Cup on the world stage. I would like to really see that player play. And then maybe if he plays there and he shines there, maybe then and only then he enters into the, thinking of the Nigerian Football Federation, National Sports Commission of Nigeria, and then of course Eric Chill. So hopefully he gets to play. But for me, in my Chelsea ways, I hope, despite Shola Ogundana's performance, I hope he does have a good performance. Chelsea indeed gets to qualify top of that group. And then we're talking about as well Felix Agu. Felix Agu, what a performance, what a debut for Nigeria, for the Nigerian Super Eagles in this in this Unity Cup tournament that he's played in. He's been fantastic. He's shown you what he's able to do. I remember when I was talking about Felix Agu, people were like, oh, what are you talking about? Oh, busy because. And then there's one I talked about him, and someone said there's nothing special about him. Someone in the comments said there's nothing special about him. I said, you haven't to myself, I said, you haven't watched him play, so how are you making this criticism about him? But I thought, again, I said, there's one thing that is true. There are some Nigerians that don't like new faces. So that player could be from the grassroots, born and bred, in Sapele, born and bred there, grew up there, performing well, scoring goals. May even score 60 goals in 40 games. You will find someone to say, no, why should he be in the team? What is he coming there to do? You can see someone who is because he's a dual national. Oh, why do you want him? What is he coming to do here? Do you think you even want to play for Nigeria? Like, why are you so negative? Why be so negative? Rather than talk to the NFF who are not doing their job, you're getting upset at me because I'm spotlighting a player that is good. I'm spotlighting a player that has ability to play. So some Nigerians don't like to see new faces. They rather would want to see Ahmed Musa brought back to the team. I'm sure if Nwankwo Kanu is invited to Super Eagles, some people want to see him and say, oh yeah, Kanu, what experience, oh, Champions League winner. Of course, Kanu, top player, legend, absolute world-class player. In fact, if he was, at the age of playing, why not have him in the team 1,000%? But I'm sure there's some people that if you invite Kanu now to play for Nigeria, they say, oh yeah, good experience. No. So Felix Agu took his opportunity very, very well. And for me, I hope this means that Justin Jima is the next guy. They are friends. They've talked about playing for Nigeria in positive light, and they want to play for Nigeria. But Felix Agu is the first one, to of that friendship play, for the Super Eagles. I hope Justin Jima is the next one. And another player that is sort of similar to Ethan Waneri, Francis Onyeka. I hope he's the next one, that makes it in. And that's why I keep saying this. I'll say this because it's true. With this Unity Cup, is an opportunity that was missed. Was an opportunity missed. Really, was an opportunity missed. Francis Onyeka, he is another one. Plays for Bayer Leverkusen, although plays for their youth side, but He's another one. It's just like Ethan Waneri has that tenacity, can play in that 10 role. And someone was saying you don't need a number 10. You need a number 10. You do. You do. Because the mindset of a number 10, the mentality of a number 10, the decision making of a number 10 is so important to a team, especially if you want the likes of Cyril Dessas to play well for Nigeria. If you want him to play well, you need a number 10. You need a number 10. People like Victor Osimhen is an absolute monster. He's an absolute monster. Put the ball anywhere, Victor Osimhen will go for it. Make an imperfect pass, Victor Osimhen will chase it down. Put the pass between 4 defenders, Victor Osimhen will throw himself between those 4 defenders and fight for that ball. But that is not an attribute that every striker has. It's a rare attribute. Diego Costa of Chelsea had it. Didier Drogba had it. Victor Osimhen has it now. Not every striker has that. So if you want someone like Cyril Dessas to thrive for the Nigerian Super Eagles, then you need a number 10, 100%. For me, I talk about Ethan Waneri. If you know another one, home base, play in another league, but a number 10 that can unlock defense with their passes, with their vision, with their skill, then you need to have the number 10 there. You need to have the number 10 there because the number 10 opens up everything for you. It opens up Ademola Lookman to be at his best. You allow, whether it's Chukwueze, whether it is whoever else plays on that, right wing, you open up, you allow that person to be freer, to attack more. And definitely will make life easier for Victor Osimhen. Although Victor Osimhen, like I said, is an absolute monster. Pass the ball anywhere, he's going to deliver. Put the ball anywhere, he's going to fight for it. But the likes of Cyril Dessas that need the ball to be, sexified, to be precisely put in for him to thrive, then, you need to get the number 10 in the building. Now, some people say Cyril Dessas performed well. He had a good 1 assist and a goal. I've said it in the previous video that, yes, that is a good return. 1 goal, 1 assist, 2 goal contribution in 2 games is a good return. It's a good return, for sure. But if you want him to thrive, then you should have a number 10, in the team. 100%. You should. I'll mention his name. I've missed out on mentioning his name. Ebenezer Kensimero should be in this team going forward. So I want to see the team improve. All I want is for Nigeria to win. That's all. Qualify for World Cup. Win AFCON. That's what I want to see. But to win, you can't just sit down, cross your fingers, and win. Look at what other countries in the same context with you are doing. Look at what they're doing. They are getting the best of the best of the best into their national teams. The best they can get, they get them Morocco. Look at what they're doing. So I'll just quickly run through some Chelsea topics that we've talked about previously. So if you just join in, and the medical for Liam Delap reportedly is scheduled for today, the 1st of June. So let's see what happens with that one. And if it does happen, then possibly he will officially announce the Chelsea player on Monday or Tuesday, and possibly could play in the FIFA Club World Cup. And we're having some reports that Chelsea would like him to absolutely dump England under 21 and the England under 21 side and play for Chelsea in the Club World Cup. So what do you think he would do? If you're a Chelsea fan here, are you happy with Liam Delap being signed as Chelsea's striker and being the first signing of the summer window by Chelsea? Are you happy with that signing? Do you want any other striker to join him, or you are happy with him as the only striker signed this season if the summer window was to end today? And also talking about the FIFA Club World Cup set of fixtures for Chelsea. Chelsea will be playing coming up against Flamingos, coming up against LAFC, and coming up against African side Esperance Tunis. So what are your thoughts about that game? And also, what are your thoughts about, Olivier Giroud coming home? Not coming home per sense of coming to Stamford Bridge, but coming up against familiar faces. Although to be honest, the team has really changed from last time he was at Chelsea. So Olivier Giroud coming up, and then Carlos Vela as well in that team. Absolutely dangerous pair to come up against. So the likes of Tosin, the likes of Cole should have their head on straight. And there's another wonder kid that would be on display in that FIFA Club World Cup for Chelsea, Tyreek George. He's been playing. I think he has really grown with the opportunity that Enzo Maresca has given him. So I'm really excited to see what he does in this tournament. Hopefully, he's given more game time. And this Bino Gittins linking Chelsea to Bino Gittins, I think that's something that would affect Tyreek George if it's indeed signed, because right now this is Noni Madueke is playing at that right back. I mean, left wing role. You have Jadon Sancho. If Chelsea decides to keep him, he will be playing there. And then you have Tyreek George. So if Chelsea goes on to sign Bino Gittins from Dortmund, that means Tyreek George's future could be in jeopardy. And then speaking about Tyreek George, for me, he is another one I talk about for the under-20 side. He could have come in and contributed. These are players you look at. So you look at home base, look at foreign base, and you get the best of both worlds. He's another one I think should be looked at. In addition to, of course, Tosin Adarabioyo, who I think should go smack into the Super Eagles team. I think he will provide that sort of leadership, especially with just Ekong coming towards the end of his time, as a captain and indeed the player for the Nigerian, Super Eagles. So, I want to know your thoughts and opinions on all of that. So that's what we're talking about. And also we talked about Felix Agu. What a debut. So really fantastic. And we talked about Shola Ogundana possibly facing up against Chelsea in this Club World Cup. So that's something I want to see. I want to see how he can perform at such a high level. So I'd like to know your thoughts and opinions on that. And for me, I want to also ask this. Do you think Nigeria has done enough to encourage these grassroots clubs, these privately run clubs, like your Beyond Limits, your Sporting Lagos? Do you think they've done enough to encourage these teams? I'm not saying funds them or anything, but when you see how they produce players, they train players, they coach players, young players, 17 years, 18 years old, and these players don't really get involved in under 17, under 20 tournaments. Don't even get involved in friendly games like Unity Cup. Don't you think they should get more, more encouragement? As opposed to for under 20, you see a player who, has played in the NPFL for 16 years. Somehow he comes to play under 20. How does that help us? So, all the thoughts and opinions on all of that. And then Justin Jima is a very electrifying player. That's another one that should have been looked at. And I think he should be the next one, off the table. And he plays in Germany. He has that German heritage as well, nationality as well. And he should be looking to switch. And, I'll talk about Lamine Yamal for a minute. Lamine Yamal, 17 years old, will be turning 18 this year, I think. So still very young, and everyone gets excited about him. Some say he should win the Ballon d'Or, but for me, my personal choice should be Ousmane Dembele, and he showed it again in the Champions League. Yesterday, smashing where PSG absolutely ran riot and smashed the living daylight out of Inter Milan, blitzing them by 5-0. So Ousmane Dembele is my absolute candidate for the Ballon d'Or. Not like I have any vote, but Lamine Yamal, for his age to be in that conversation to win the Ballon d'Or, that is a special thing. Now, the question I want to ask, I know I've talked about this a little bit, but I want to ask this. Is it a generational talent, or what's more important, having generational talent or having a generational platform? Because for me, I feel like countries like Nigeria, we have generational talent, but we do not have generational platform. And that's a problem. Because you could have all the ability in the world, if you're unable to trigger interest in the players that, you produce in your country within your shores, then no one really regard you or regard those players as being generational talents. When you look at Lamine Yamal, then you look at Onyebukwe Obasi, then maybe you look at Nuadedi Stenberg. And I ask myself when I watch the Nuadedi Stenberg and I look at Lamine Yamal, I say, what is the difference when you talk about skill for skill? What is the difference? Not really, nothing much there. I don't see the difference. Skillful, cut on the leg, dribble, pace. I don't see the difference. But one thing that Lamine Yamal has that Anadeli Stenberg doesn't have is he has a generational platform. Once you play for FC Barcelona, no matter the age range, the world knows about you. You begin to have narrative, spoken about you, written about you, and people begin to know you. But for Nigerian players, you don't have that. You don't have that. So that's the point of content. End of the stream. Thank you all for being here and watching all through. And for those who have sent their chats in, really thank you. Yasim, my Chelsea brother, thank you for being on here as well. Idris, thank you for your contribution. And for every other person who sent their chats in, really thank you. And I'll be seeing you on yet another video, maybe today or tomorrow. Keep your eyes peeled on this channel. If you haven't subscribed already, please do subscribe to the channel. Share this channel to people you feel will love this sort of content. And I'll see you on yet another video. So like I always say, stay well until next.